So V3 has arrived and surprisingly it came much faster than usual. In this video we will first discuss the change to several TRIBBIE kits. Since this is V3, the changes are likely final. Therefore I will also include some possible builds that work well for TRIBBIE. So without further ado, let's get started. TRIBBIE is a limited harmony character with a quantum element. Their unique trait, which sets them apart from other supports, is their ability to provide a significant damage output for the team. Their ultimate increases the damage taken by enemies and additional quantum damage every time a teammate attacks the enemy. The more enemies present on the battlefield, the more additional damage is triggered, and hence greater the additional damage dealt. They can also perform follow-up attacks whenever an ally activates their ultimate. In terms of base stats, nothing has changed except for their ultimate. Previously, TRIBBIE's ultimate had a high energy cost of 180, but now it only requires 120 energy to activate. As for their basic attack and skill, there haven't been any significant changes aside from a couple of rewardings. Additionally, TRIBBIE's basic attack now generates 20 energy instead of 10. However, their ultimate has undergone some adjustments. It still deals AoE damage upon activation and increases enemies' damage taken by 30%, along with the unchanged additional damage multiplier. The major difference is that the duration of their ultimate has been reduced to just 2 turns. This change is understandable given the significant reduction in energy cost. For TRIBBIE's talent, there's an important additional detail. Aside from dealing AoE damage with their follow-up attack, it is now clarified that if an enemy is defeated by an ally's ultimate, TRIBBIE will still launch a follow-up attack on the next enemy that spawns. I'm not sure if this was already possible in previous versions, as seen in videos circulating online, but now it's confirmed. This makes TRIBBIE an excellent support choice for modes like Purification or other endgame content where enemies frequently summon reinforcements. Since TRIBBIE's ultimate has been adjusted to have a lower energy cost, one of the traces has also been modified. Previously they restored 48 energy at the start of the battle, but now it's reduced to 30 energy. That essentially covers the changes of TRIBBIE's kit. For those of you interested in investing further into these characters through their eidolons, here are the updates to those as well. TRIBBIE's first eidolon no longer increases the additional quantum damage by 120%. Instead, every time a teammate attacks, they will deal true damage equal to 24% of the attack to enemies who have been inflicted with the additional quantum damage before. In TRIBBIE's case, this additional damage will prioritize the enemy with the highest HP on the battlefield, typically an elite enemy. Since their follow-up attacks can also trigger this additional damage, the true damage can benefit from them as well. It's great to see this eidolon moves to the first slot instead of being the second one as in the previous version. As for the second eidolon, it no longer provides true damage. Instead, while TRIBBIE's skill effect is active, the entire team attack will now ignore 18% of the enemy's defense. This is a major upgrade for TRIBBIE because this defense ignoring ability was previously locked behind the 4th eidolon, which was quite expensive to obtain. Now her E4 inherits the first eidolon effect from the previous version, making E4 far less critical to pursue. The updates to TRIBBIE's eidolons are very favorable overall. E1 is now much more impactful, offering extra true damage against elite enemies, which is especially useful since most AoE attackers paired with her won't be specifically target elites. This makes E1 incredibly helpful for endgame content like Memory of Chaos or even Apocalyptic Shadow. If you have higher budget, E2 is also worth considering since the defense ignoring effect can significantly boost the team's damage output. However, it's fair to say that E1 alone is already a solid investment. Before we decide whether you should pull for TRIBBIE's signature light cone or her eidolon one, let's first discuss the changes made to her signature light cone. TRIBBIE's signature light cone still grants 36% crit damage to its user. In the new version, it also provides 9 energy recovery whenever the user performs a follow-up attack and triggers the new presage effect. While presage is active, the entire team gains 48% additional crit damage. At the start of the battle, the user restores 21 energy, and the presage effect activates immediately for 2 turns. Although the total crit damage buff for the team is lower compared to the previous version, the passive effect of the LC is now significantly easier to activate. This change makes TRIBBIE slightly less dependent on her signature, but still benefits greatly from it. With this LC equipped, TRIBBIE can immediately use her ultimate at the start of the battle, especially if combined with Energy Robe. But on the other hand, this makes the wearer of this LC is a bit more restricted, since so far only TRIBBIE can utilize this and Robin is no longer a valid option since the requirement is now using a follow-up attack which Robin can't do. While Eidolon 1 is undeniably strong and adds valuable true damage against elite enemies, TRIBBIE's signature LC takes higher priority, I guess. It enhances her utility and energy economy, allowing her to maximize her support capabilities right from the start of a fight. Once you have secured the signature LC, you can consider pulling for Eidolon 1 if you have the budget. So what relic options are suitable for TRIBBIE? A set like Poet of Morning Collapse seems to be a great choice for her, since her technique allows her to immediately use her skill at the start of the battle and her kit heavily relies on allies' ultimate. Speed may not be a significant concern. This set also provides additional crit rate, ensuring her damage output remains consistent. If you want to fully highlight TRIBBIE's potential as a Harmony sub DPS, Genius of Brilliant Stars is also a viable option. For offensive planar options, the new Bones Collection set is a strong choice. Not only does it increase HP, but if TRIBBIE's HP reach 5000 or more, she gains additional crit rate, to ensure TRIBBIE's damage remains consistent. Inner Salsolto is also a solid pick. Duran can also be considered, but you will need to make sure at least one team member can frequently trigger follow-up attacks. Another option is Lusaka, which increases the attack of the main DPS in the first slot of the party. As for their main stats priority, crit rate is the primary choice for the body piece, especially if TRIBBIE is using her signature LC, which already provides plenty of crit damage. For boots, prioritize HP as it synergizes well with sets like Bounce Collection. For the planar sphere, either quantum damage or HP, and lastly energy regen for their rope. For Lightcon options, her own signature is definitely the best. As we just discussed before, they are the type of character that may still be dependent to their LC. For other 5-star Lightcons, Sparkle signature can serve as an alternative, but it's not ideal. TRIBBIE cannot fully utilize the passive effect of this LC, and the buff it provides only lasts for 3 turns. Another viable option is Flowing Night Glow, which works well because its passive effect depends on teammates taking turns to attack, and it also boosts TRIBBIE's energy regen. However, this LC is most effective when the main DPS in the team scales with attack. And if you already have Robin using it, it's unlikely you would want to assign it to TRIBBIE. Bring as LC, but the battle isn't over, is another option, but it would mainly act as a stat stick to provide energy regen without any other significant benefits for TRIBBIE's kit. And here are some of TRIBBIE's damage distribution with these LCs. DDD is also a good option for her, especially now that her ultimate's energy cost has been reduced, allowing her to trigger it more frequently. Planetary Rendezvous is another interesting choice if you plan to pair TRIBBIE with a Quantum DPS. With the rumored arrival of Castoris, which is a Quantum DPS character in the next patch, this Lightcon might work well for team synergy. Who knows, maybe they can work together in the future. The Battle Pass Lightcon Carve the Moon with the Clouds remains a strong and consistent option too, offering team-wide buffs that align perfectly with TRIBBIE's Harmony role. Additionally, Machine Cock is a great budget choice if your goal is to enable TRIBBIE to activate her ultimate as often as possible. So what teams are suitable for TRIBBIE? Since she is a support unit, her team compositions are quite flexible actually. Currently, the Herta team is arguably the best option. In this setup, Herta serves as the main DPS with her AoE attack type. Characters like Jade, Serval, or even Argenti can take the second Erudition slot. Huo can handle the sustain role, which could also be replaced by Aventurine, Lingsha, or Gallagher depending on your preferences and account condition. Another viable team is the Mayday team. Here, Mayday acts as the primary DPS, while Sunday or RMC function as secondary supports. Huo or Rocha would fill the healer role for Mayday. TRIBBIE can also pair with Aglaia as a replacement for Robin in her team. Additionally, you can experiment with TRIBBIE alongside other DPS characters such as Argenti or even Facial, showcasing her flexibility. So, is TRIBBIE worth pulling for? The answer is yes. As a support who provides excellent buffs, vulnerability debuffs, and notable personal damage, she might be an excellent unit for tackling the HP inflation seen in Star Rail's endgame content. While she does have some dependency on her signature Lightcon, her role as a support ensures she won't be power crept as quickly as typical DPS units. Furthermore, upcoming patches seem to feature many enemies with new mechanics that heavily favor AoE characters, making TRIBBIE synergy even more valuable. That said, if you are not concerned with permanent content or don't particularly like her design, it's perfectly fine to skip her banner. Will TRIBBIE be a meta character? Most likely yes. However, if you are still unsure, there will always be another opportunity during her rerun. And that's the video on V3 TRIBBIE. Do you think their performance will be outstanding upon release, or will they end up being a character that is not necessary? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe for more content. I will see you humans in the next video.